karoti vachanam Pangam langayate girim kripatamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. Since few days we were discussing, since few days we've been discussing about the fourth offense, for to blaspheme Vedic literature and portions of Vedic version. Today we will discuss an important aspect of how not following the instructions of the scriptures and the superiors, we are kept in this world. From where the degradation began, how this varnashram system has been broken, and then how Acharyas Srila Prabhupada came to re-establish that. Please hear attentively, dear devotees. I hope you all can hear me okay. You can hear me okay? Can somebody confirm?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So, when Shringi is the son of Shamik Rishi. He's like a 5 years old boy, 5 years old boy, or 5 or 6. And then he came to know that his father was being humiliated, was not being given respect by Parikshit Maharaj. Because he was thirsty. You all know the story. But here an important aspect is Shringi, the moment he came to know that his father, Shamik Rishi, has been cursed, has been humiliated, then he immediately, without any second thought, in the midst of his friends, he said Parikshit Maharaj has to die in 7 days. Now, if we actually see this instance, this comes in Bhagavatam. If we actually see this instance, Shringi never consulted anyone. He never went and consulted his father. He never asked his opinion. He never took any guidance. Rather, he took everything to himself. No, he has power. He knows, because as per the association of his father, he came to know that he can do certain things. He's a Brahmana. But here what he did, he took it to himself. This is actually the degradation. This is actually the degradation began in Kali Yuga. This is a moment. And this is connected to fourth offense. For to blaspheme Vedic literature and portions of Vedic version. That means taking ownership to ourselves. Guru Sadhu Shastra is not the owner. They are the owners. We are the owners. The moment we become the owners of taking some decisions, then what happens? Kali Purusha enters into their consciousness. Actually, Kali Purusha was looking how I should enter. And then this is opportunity found through Shringi. Now, this is the downfall of Brahmanism. This is the downfall. And after so many thousands of years now, fast forward, the present situation, there's no Brahmanas. There's no Brahmanas anymore. That's why Srila Prabhupada said, I came here to re-establish these principles. I want to make everyone Brahmanas and then eventually Vaishnavas. Because this is completely broken, dear devotees. From that moment, who is Brahmana? Brahmana is the head. And Kshatriyas are the hands and the shoulder. The Vaishyas are the waist. And the Shudras are the legs. So Kalipurusha wanted to break the head. If the head is broken, everything is broken. If there is no head, then there is nothing. That means head actually should lead. The Brahmana should actually lead. Through his teachings, through his realizations, he should lead the other varnas. Chaturvarnam Maya system Gunakarma Vibhagashaha. The Brahmana has to lead from the front. But when Shringi began cursing that, Prabhupada actually writes there that this is actually the degradation of Kali Yuga. This is where it began. This is the degradation it began. And then now you see so much problems. Why? This is a source for that. Because Kali Purusha entered. And through Shringi, he entered into everyone's heart. Now when Brahmana doesn't follow, doesn't abide, is not submissive, then what happens? He will not teach that submissiveness to Kshatriyas or Vaishyas or Shudras. That means when that important principle is broken at the top, obviously the principles will not be handed over to the next person. The Brahmana has to lead from the front, but the leader itself is broken. Then what's going to happen? Entire society is broken. Because nobody is teaching the other person. There is no inspiration. So it is very important to understand how the fourth principle, to follow that fourth principle, is so important. This is how we re-establish the principles of Bhagavad Dharma, the principles of Varnashrama Dharma. Now, if you see through the life of Parikshit Maharaj, what was he doing all his life, 700 years ruling the world? Was he ruling it all by himself? No, he took guidance from Brahmanas, Vaishnavas. He took training from pure devotees. And then he always took guidance. Pandavas, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Bhagavatam explained, Yudhishthira Maharaj trained him profusely. And then made him the king. And then they all left to the forest to go back to Godhead. See, everything is perfectly arranged. They don't just leave like that. Even in the material world, if you are quitting your job, they would say, knowledge transfer, knowledge transfer. That is there. Just on a material plane, if everything is broken, still these things are there. Don't you see those things will be profusely available in those days? Yes. This is how we get the faith towards the scriptures. Now that's how Kali Yuga rampant, Kali Purusha. He profusely entered into everyone's heart very deeply. That's why this is the core reason why there is no staunch faith in the scriptures. Obviously, when there is no staunch faith, we blaspheme them, or we ridicule them, or we do not accept them, or we accept in our own way. Janmashtami is coming. One should aspire for this prayer. My dear Lord, please help, so that I can completely clean up my consciousness and then come out of these anarthas, these 10 offenses. I know through hook or crook, through some way, shape, or form, these things are happening. That's why I'm not relishing the holy name. That's why I'm not relishing your festivals. That's why I'm not relishing your appearance days. That's why I'm not relishing the appearance day of the acharyas. Please help. Cry out. Because just like a child has a relationship with mother, without mother, there is no existence for the child. Do you see the child will exist without mother? No. Mother has to feed her milk. She has to take care of the child. She has to ensure that child is properly grown, properly fed, properly slept. Everything she takes care of her, of him. The child in this scenario, it's a very clear indication that he's fully, totally dependent on the mother. Likewise, we, the souls, the last souls in this world, we are totally dependent on these Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. The Shastra cannot be let loose. When one fully accepts, which we discussed yesterday, then what happens? Then you actually relish Bhagavad Dharma. Then we will relish that Bhagavad discourse. Then we wanted to continue this again and again. So now if you see, there is no Brahmanas. So-called people who born in the life, in the family of a Brahmana, and obviously they're not Dvija Brahmana. Dvija Brahmana means they're not twice Brahmanas, twice born. Only when it's twice born, that means who is fully trained up in the process, then he's called as Brahmana. Simply wearing a thread, wearing a janja, that will not give the qualities of Brahmana. Brahmana means qualities. That means when the society is fully downgraded, then obviously what is happening? The people who are born in the families of Brahmanas, they become big, big engineers. Because they have intelligence. But that intelligence is used in, it is also used. Urdhvam Mula Madho Shaka. That means the real intelligence is to know the essence of the Shastra. Vedescha Sarvam Ahameva Vedya, which is the root of everything, which is Krishna. Just like a reservoir, just like water, just like a flowing water is fulfilling everyone's desire rather than the wells. For example, there is a well to drink water, there is another well to wash clothes, there is another well to other activities to take bath. There are different wells. But when one comes to the river which is flowing, everyone's needs are satisfied. So likewise, not just knowing the scriptures, but we should know the root of the scriptures. We should know the essence of the scripture. What is it? The root is Krishna. Vedescha sarvamahame. When we know the root of the scriptures, then what happens? Then we get the essence of everything. That means we would realize that this is what I should aspire for. This is my life for. My life is meant for this. Now, if you technically see, everyone has some aspirations that I should do this, I should do that, I should do this, I should do that. That is what which is driving ones. But if you actually corely observe, corely understand to the core of the heart, these aspirations, if you see, they're all related to this situations we are kept in. That means, for example, if I'm very poor, I really aspire to become a rich person. Because I know if I'm poor, then I have so many problems. Then if I become rich, then those problems can be eliminated. That means what are we trying to solve? We are trying to solve the problems which are there here in this world, which are troubling us. As more we spend time to solve our existing problems, we are forgetting a real problem. The real problem is not this problem that I'm poor. The real problem is birth, death, old age, and disease. This is the real problem. When the awareness in the scriptures is not complete, then what happens? We leave those real problems aside. And then we engage in our temporary problems. Just like Chitraketu Maharaj, he's a king. And sadhus came to him to give Krishna consciousness. But he was not in a position to accept that. Why? Because his understanding is on a problem in his kingdom. What is that problem? He has no children. That means he's actually thinking about how he can clear up the problems of the current kingdom. But the sadhus wanted to give the essence of everything, but he's not in a position to accept it. Just like we discussed Sunday, that the Brahmana who goes and then who meets the sadhu tells that for the next 7 lives you will not have children. No, that is a fact. If he had complete faith on the scriptures and on these personalities, because he was reciting scriptures, that means he was doing everything not on a pure plane. He was actually discussing, he was actually reading the Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads, but not with conviction. He was doing it. But when a sadhu told something, he couldn't accept it. Why? Because he has no faith. Because some other problem is troubling him. He's not aloof from all these problems. It's like Chitraketu Maharaj, he was not aloof. Parikshit Maharaj was aloof. He had a problem, he immediately understood because he was fully trained. That's how he led his life. That's how he ruled this entire world for 700 years. We see through the life of Srila Prabhupada, that's what he did. He had so many problems. He accepted everything as a mercy of the Lord. He did not turn back. He did not turn back. That is his essence. That is the quality. We shouldn't turn back. Because if we turn back, then again we don't know. For example, you are working on a project. Avashyatmika buddhi reke hai kurananta. You're just doing it. You have to do it. And then the moment you come out of it, then you're off track. It means you cannot concentrate. You are off track. It means you have only limited time. You have to finish that project in time. What do? You keep full focus on that. Because you know that's important. Because you know the circumstances, what's going to happen if that is not being done nicely. Now, as we know those things, that if I do not do this project, I will be fired. Or something else. Or something else might happen. Right? Now we know the circumstances, that's why we are working on it. The problem is, whatever scriptures are telling, those are the real circumstances, but we cannot put complete faith on those circumstances. That is the reason why we are unable to focus more. That is one of the core reasons. Because why the focus doesn't come fully? Because we don't see the circumstances which will happen in the future. Not which will happen only. There is no question of might or this or might not. No, it will. The material nature is very powerful. The karmic reactions are very powerful. The moment there is a little deviation, it will immediately impact us. When we have this focus, then Vyavasayatmika Buddhi will come. One pointed focus, one pointed agenda. This is the only thing for me. That will come. And then these are the days where Lord is descending. We aspire for that. We aspire for that, dear devotees. Very, very important. Because unless these aspirations are there, these goals are set, we cannot concentrate or focus our services. Pranipatena pariprashnana sevaya. Approaching the spiritual master, inquiring, and then doing service. When these three things are established, then the faith on the process, then the faith on the scriptures will deepen. Then we will never commit the fourth offense. Why? Why there are problems in this world? Because there is no Guru, Sadhu, Shastra in one's life. This is the reason. This is a core reason why there are problems in this world. We need to understand. We need to think about this. or taking control in our hands, just like Shringi did. Shringi took the control in his hands. He took the control in his hands, dear devotees. What was he doing? He simply took. He was not consulting his father. Taking control is against submissiveness. Because he never felt. He thought that, and he actually proclaims that you think Krishna is not here? I'm here. I can take charge of this. Bhagavatam very beautifully explains. So it is so important to correlate that the moment we do something against the scriptures, we get a reaction for it, for sure. Now we are getting so many reactions already in our life. That's when we don't realize that all these are coming because I'm not following the instructions of the acharyas. We don't realize that because so many things are happening. Please try to see, if you try to follow the teachings of the acharyas, see how much material nature will try to pull us away. Try seeing, following Krishna consciousness fully one day. Fully. Try seeing that. It's not easy, it's difficult. Mind will stray away in so many things. It's not easy. Srila Prabhupada says, chanting of Hare Krishna cannot be done continuously. Try chanting continuously. Unless and until he is on a pure platform, he cannot do that. That's what he says. Try chanting like 64 rounds one day. Fully concentrating. Without watching cell phone, this, that. Fully fast. Try chanting one day. It's not easy. The mind will distract in so many ways. This is what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Maharaj Thakur, Srila Prabhupada said. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, what he said? He gave an ad that please come to our temple. They will give you money also. All you need to do is you need to chant Hare Krishna. Some people came. Then he said, we'll feed you prasad in the morning, and then you sit, you chant all day. 64 rounds. People couldn't do that. They left. And then he told his disciples, no, it's not easy to chant like that attentively. It's not easy. It's not easy. Because there's no focus. Because there's the acceptance of the scriptures is not yet there. But the scriptures are not fully accepted, we cannot do this. When we don't receive the mercy, we cannot do this. When we do not take shelter of our spiritual master, we cannot get that. This should be our aspiration. But today the aspirations is something else on a material plane. If you really want to aspire for something real, then you need to leave these things. Anyhow, you will get. Just like Prahlad Maharaj said, anyhow, for example, you're supposed to get so much amount of money, you will get it. For example, you're supposed to get so much amount of happiness, you'll get it. For example, you're supposed to get so much amount of distress, you'll get it. Distress is there, happiness is there. Just like heat and cold are there. You do get it. As per your karma, you'll get it. Don't worry about that. If something is removed, that is as per the karmic reaction, it is coming. Don't worry about that. Focus on this. How can I chant my rounds attentively? How can I hear attentively? How can I follow this attentively? How can I apply these things in my life attentively? This money, woman, wealth, they do not give happiness or satisfaction. Now, vice versa. Money, men, wealth. For woman, men, for men, women. They do not give satisfaction. That's a fact. Now, this acceptance should come. If this acceptance is there, then you see reciprocations. You know when reciprocation will begin in our life? When we are following the scriptures and when we are following the instructions of the spiritual master. Then we see reciprocation. Until that point of time, it's a struggle. Now, I know so many practitioners who do not follow any, who do not hear, who do not accept. They get initiated, but do not accept them. Do not accept the Father. Do not accept the spiritual master to the core of the heart. They just practice. For them, it will take few lifetimes to go back to God. Not in this lifetime. Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravarti Arjuna. If you really want to finish off this business in this lifetime, then one should actually submit oneself to the words and the teachings of the spiritual master and the acharyas. This is the only key. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Yasya aprasadat nagati kutopi. This is the teachings of the scripture. This is the Vaishnava Chakravarti Thakur Maharaj is proclaimed, who directly descended from the spiritual world. He's not ordinary personality here, who's like struggling for the existence. He's not like a conditioned soul who's running behind money, woman, wealth, or who's falling in the prey of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. No, they're aloof. They're outside that. He's a Manjari. From the spiritual world, he came to give that instruction. And then he left. Guru Ashtakam. His commentary in Bhagavatam is so profound. Srila Prabhupada so many times quotes about his commentary. He says to be determined in Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada writes, he says to be determined in Krishna consciousness, one should follow the instructions of what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gave, which is Vyavasayatmika Buddhir. Of what? Let me take my spiritual master as my life and soul and then lead my life as per his words and instructions. This is a determination. Whatever so-called thing that will happen in our life, you don't have to worry too much about that. When we have this single-pointed focus, this focus will also come to our dependents. They will also become strong internally. But first, we should become strong. The strength comes when we cultivate this faith. When we are away from blaspheme, or people who are blaspheming, we should be away from them also. People who do not have faith, we should try to stay away. If there is a possibility, we should give that faith. If we have, should give that faith. Otherwise, we should simply stay away. Hare Krishna Prabhu. I myself am struggling. What will I help you? This you need to understand. Shringi took charge, took control. He thinks that he's the controller. He's the center. He's thinking that he's the center of everything. Among his friends, he wants to be the top. He wants to prove himself that I can do something. What can he do? And then his father profusely cried out, what did you do, my son? You know who Parikshit Maharaj is? He's an acharya. He's a pure soul. You cursed him? And then he immediately started praying, I don't know what's going to happen to you and to us. That's the greatest offense. Vaishnava Aparadh. Why? Because he thinks that he is a controller. Likewise, when we think that we are the controller, then we don't see spiritual master as superior to us. We see him as like a normal person who is there, going here and there, like us. No. Why? Because the attitude is not right. The attitude is we think that we are devotees. You know why people do not hear sincerely? They think that they already know everything. But they know nothing. How? Because they never done anything in Krishna consciousness. Nothing will happen, dear devotees. It will just be like that. If the Shravana is not taken to the heart, this prayer we need to go and then offer, this we need to submit to the Lord. My dear Lord, please help me. Just like a patient who has cancer, he immediately goes to the doctor. Doctor, please cure my cancer. There is cancer cells in my body, killing my others. There, that cells are killing the other cells. Please help. If you do not help, I will die soon. Then he will send another cells in his body so that the cancer cells are cured. The soldier cells. This is urgency for us. We don't know when we will leave the body. The moment I think about this, I always feel this. I really don't know when I will leave this body. I'm kind of complacently staying here and then doing so many things, leading a comfort life. Oh, we don't know. We don't know when what will happen to us. Does anyone have any idea? Does anyone proclaim that you will live for 80 years or 75 years? Do we have a guarantee? Is our office manager is he giving guarantee that he will keep us forever? He himself he doesn't have a guarantee that he will be there for forever. What guarantee he will give us? That's why only Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, they can only pull us out of this. No one else in this world can pull us out of this. Bhavasagar, this is Bhavasagar, material ocean, this is Bhavasagar. No one can pull us out of this. Only they. Prabhupada says, you just hold me. You just follow my instruction. I will pull you out. Arey, he is assuring. His followers are assuring us. Just we need to follow. Prabhupada says, just follow what I say. Just do what I say. Kim kara, submit. Just do what I say. If you do this, then the fourth offense is not there. Then we will be grateful to the scriptures. Oh, it is only by your mercy. That's why we worship Bhagavatam as Krishna. Is none different than Krishna. Bhagavatam is none different than Krishna. Every word in Bhagavatam is none different than Krishna. It is the heart of the Vaishnava Acharya. That means every day we are associating with him. Don't you think that we'll get purified? Yes, definitely we'll be purified. But we need to have that desire. Please help. Please help. It's like a patient is struggling. He goes to the doctor. Please help. Please help. Please help. We should also have that move. Please help. Hare Krishna. Anyone would like to add anything? Would like to share any reflections? Should profusely. Yes.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept
Krishna.
that. Very beautifully explained, Prabhuji, the dependency on acharyas and spiritual master, and a beautiful, simple, very simple, straightforward example of cancer cells. There should be the strong cells which fight the cancer should be sent in. Otherwise, if I think or if we think the existing cells will resolve the problem, no, it will create even more problem. So if I try to think I will solve the problem that I'm having myself, no, that's not going to work. Who knows? It'll be doubled or tripled, even more problems. So definitely need help of the gurus. So we have to reach out, as you said, reach out, ask submissively, and then follow slowly, slowly. Thank you so very much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Because as we are in the conditioned state, we don't see which one is correct to us. The false ego will tell that you are correct, that we are correct, but through our conditioning, we don't see. So the moment we understand that we are conditioned, the modes are working on me, then we take their shelter. So that is the whole point of Shavana, to bring us to that platform that who said I'm a devotee? I'm not a devotee. This is a platform. When we come to this platform, then we will take shelter. Otherwise, taking shelter is not possible, will not come. That's why I remember my spiritual master says, he always says, I'm convincing you that you are not a devotee. Oh, that's a great realization actually. And when we are convinced that we are not devotees, then we take their shelter. Then we take the shelter of Shastras. If I'm convinced that I'm a devotee, then I will not take shelter. Even if I'm taking shelter, the shelter will not be pure or we don't aspire. We don't cry out. Just like Srila Prabhupada gives this example. Srila Prabhupada was walking and then there are some ducks. And then Srila Prabhupada gave some food to the ducks. And then Prabhupada asked the question to his disciples there. Do you know to whom I will give the food? And then the disciples were like just trying to hear. And then Prabhupada said, I will give food to them, to that ducks who are aspiring for that. Please give me, please give me, please give me. Who are really eager to eat. The ducks are just hanging around there. Prabhupada said, I will not give to them because they don't need. So we need to understand. If our aspirations are correct, if our goals are correct, if we really require Krishna consciousness, then only we'll get it. Because Krishna is also sitting in the heart. He says, ah, Baba, I think he wants to enjoy some more lifetimes. So I will leave him alone. But if we aspire for that state, no, I need this now, then you get it. No, whoever aspires for that, then only they'll get it. They will only get it. Others will not get it. Hare Krishna. Let's stop here. Thank you all very much. If I caused an inconvenience through my words, please excuse me. Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
all very
Krishna,
much.
Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Guruji.
Yes, Prabhu, please
Yes,
come.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I was just wanted to thank you for all the lessons because we follow so nicely and yet we doesn't relish as we would like to. So definitely by all these wonderful advice you're given, it's a great help to us. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Take care of your health. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Karina, would you like to receive? Hare Krishna.